Sometimes you look at yourself and feel less. Not enough, not strong, not worthy. And the mind starts speaking with a voice that doesn't sound like yours. I'm not like them. I always mess this up. I'll never be enough. But that voice isn't truth. It's repetition. It's habit. It's the echo of everything you once accepted but never questioned. You think you're broken? You're not. You're just unbuilt. No foundation. No code. No core you can return to when things fall. The Stoics never asked for validation. They built self-respect through clarity, through action, through stillness. So stop looking for a fix. Start laying stone. One trait at a time. One breath at a time. One shift that says, I may be shaken, but I will never fall. Let's build that frame. Every crack begins with a whisper. I'm not enough. The Stoics never tolerated that voice. Not because they were arrogant, but because they knew if you don't respect yourself first, no one else will. You keep shrinking, apologizing for existing, saying yes when your soul is screaming no. You laugh it off. Make yourself small. Let others speak first, louder, longer, because somewhere inside you believe they mattered more. Stop. You're not less. You've just been practiced in forgetting your weight. This isn't about ego, it's about center. A quiet sense that you deserve to be here, to breathe, to hold space, to take the damn seat at the table without asking. That's where unbreakable begins. Not outside, not in praise, but in the moment you decide to never again question your own place in the room. You don't need to prove your worth. You just need to stop burying it. What you stare at, you become. And most people stare at what they lack, what went wrong, what they didn't say right, what they still haven't fixed. But the Stoics, they looked at what served, not as denial, but as discipline. Because your focus is your nutrition. Feed it failure, you shrink. Feed it progress, you rise. There is always something broken, but there is also something working. A habit held, a truth told, a choice made when no one saw. And the more you name it, the more you see yourself clearly. You're not just the moment you cracked, you're also the moment you kept going. So stop counting what you lost, start documenting what held. Write it down, say it out loud, and repeat it until your mind remembers who you really are. Because self-worth doesn't grow in the dark. It grows wherever your attention learns to plant light. Unrealistic expectations are just future disappointments disguised as ambition. You say you'll change overnight. You'll wake up at 4 a.m. You'll fix everything in one clean move. And when life doesn't cooperate, you fall. Not because you failed, but because you built a mountain with no steps. The Stoics never promised themselves glory. They promised consistency. They didn't chase extremes. They honored progress. Quiet, deliberate, stubborn progress. And that's how self-worth is protected. Not by being perfect, but by being possible. One win today, another tomorrow. A rhythm of earned movement that stacks into something real. You want to feel better? Set goals that respect your humanity. Not easy, but attainable. Not soft, but sustainable. Because you can't hate yourself into changing, but you can lead yourself one clear step at a time. And when you hit that step and mark it with presence, that's how the rebuild begins. Comparison is the slowest form of self-erasure. You scroll, you watch, you measure. Not how far you've come, but how far they've gone. And little by little, your path feels smaller. Your effort feels weaker. Your story feels pointless. But the Stoics didn't chase pace. They chased alignment. Because value doesn't come from beating someone else. It comes from becoming who you were supposed to be. You weren't built to run their race. You weren't designed to follow their script. You have a different time. A different task, a different rhythm that doesn't show up on anyone else's timeline. So stop watching, stop ranking, stop letting strangers define how proud you're allowed to feel. Because the more you compare, the more you forget how far you've actually traveled. You don't need to win the world's game. You just need to finish your own without betraying your steps. That's not ego, that's clarity, and it's where peace begins. You can't build on a foundation of shame, and yet you keep dragging your past into your present. That one mistake, that one choice, that version of you who didn't know better. You replay it, you wear it. You punish yourself quietly because maybe you think you deserve to feel broken. But the Stoics knew, regret without action is useless, and guilt left unchecked becomes self-sabotage. You can't lead yourself if you don't trust yourself. So let it go. Not because it didn't happen, but because it already did. And no amount of self-hate rewrites the timeline. You've learned, you've changed, you're still here, and that alone is proof you're worth forgiving. So stop dragging old weight into new moments. Speak the truth, own it fully, and then drop it. That's not weakness, that's honor. In your future, it deserves a lighter version of you. Self-respect isn't a feeling, it's a behavior. You don't wait to feel worthy, you act like you are. The Stoics didn't sit around waiting for confidence to arrive. They moved with principle, with intention, with decisions that matched the person they were building. And that's the shift, from hoping you'll feel better, to proving that you deserve better through action. Respect means you eat like your body matters. You speak like your words matter. You walk like your time matters. No more tolerating chaos. No more explaining your worth. No more keeping company that pulls you out of alignment. Because what you allow is what you teach yourself to expect. So teach yourself higher. Clean your space. Honor your time. Say no faster. Say yes slower. Move like you're someone you're proud to carry. Not someday. Today. Because every choice you make is casting a vote for the kind of self you're becoming. No one will give you space. You have to claim it. The Stoics carved stillness into the noise. They weren't idle, they were intentional. Because self-worth isn't built in reaction, it's built in rhythm. Moments you protect, minutes you guard, silence you own, not for escape but for recalibration. You keep saying you're tired, but what you are is disconnected. Pulled by demands, spread by expectation, trapped in motion that isn't even yours. So stop, take 10 minutes, alone, no screen, no noise, just breath and brutal honesty. What do I need right now? What am I avoiding? Where did I leave myself behind? Not to fix, just to return. Because the man who doesn't make time to meet himself will forget what he stands for. And once you forget that, you'll say yes to everything except your own peace. So slow down, make room, and remember, stillness is a form of power. You don't need a trophy, you need truth. The Stoics never waited for someone to clap. They knew what they'd earned. Because progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's hidden in the moments no one sees. Getting out of bed when it's heavy. Choosing calm when chaos pulls. Repeating what's right when no one's watching. Those are wins. Small, quiet, but undeniable. And when you ignore them, you starve your self-worth. You teach your mind to only celebrate the dramatic, but strength is built in the uncelebrated. So tonight before you sleep, name one thing you did well, out loud to yourself, like it matters, because it does. And tomorrow, do it again. You're not building a brand, you're building a backbone. And every time you acknowledge your steps, you give your future something solid to stand on. No applause needed. Just presence. Strength isn't silence. You've been told, handle it yourself, don't be a burden, stay strong. But the Stoics knew, real strength includes knowing when you've reached your edge. This isn't weakness, this is wisdom. Because even the sharpest blade needs a hand to carry it. Even the strongest structure needs reinforcement. You're not meant to carry it all, alone, quiet, breaking behind your smile. So ask. For help, for space, for perspective. Not from desperation, from clarity. Because knowing when to reach doesn't make you less, it makes you last. You don't have to share with everyone, just with someone. Someone who holds you without trying to fix you. That's not weakness, that's architecture. And every indestructible self was first built with the support of something outside itself. Speak. Not to fall, but to keep standing. Nothing can break you. They told you to believe in yourself, but they never taught you how. So you tried to earn it with achievement, with attention, with perfection. But self-esteem isn't built in the noise. It's built in the quiet. In the mornings you showed up, in the nights you didn't quit, in the hours no one saw, but you did the work anyway. This isn't about feeling good. It's about being grounded, rooted, centered. So when the world shifts, you don't. When people leave, you don't collapse. When nothing goes your way, you still know your way. Because now you don't wait to be picked. You choose yourself. Not because you're perfect, but because you're present. Not because they believe in you, but because you stopped asking them to. Unbreakable self-esteem isn't loud, it isn't pretty, it isn't praised, it's quiet, it's patient, it's yours. And no one can give it to you, because no one can take it away.